folks, this is the reality of anybody who sells clothing and needs the weight before they go to the post office. 740 grams. Hello everyone, how are you doing? I've got a restless dog in the background and a cat in front of me, so I hope it's not all too distracting. Oh, and now he's trying to get under the table. Merlin! So let me know in the comments how you are, what you're up to lately. It's really weird because we had a bit of a miserable summer here in England, and well, a bit of August specifically, and then last week we just had, I think, about 4 or 5 days, a little heat wave. It was really strange. We were just sort of spent the whole of August sort of easing our way, feeling like we were easing our way into autumn, and then we had this like heat wave. So that was quite disorientating, but I made the most of it. I took that oil pastel piece of art that I did ages ago now, put that out in the sun to try and dry it. It still didn't dry, so I would not recommend using that oil. And of course the oil pastels I was using were cheap, so perhaps that's just what they're like. Anyway, I also managed to get outside to do a little bit of writing, which is really nice. Out on the patio area, I've got this beautiful view just out that way, and it was too hot really to sit out there in the middle of the day, but sort of mid-afternoon, early evening, it was really lovely. So I just sat out there till it got too dark. I'm editing my book at the moment, which is a really strange process. I kind of half enjoy editing and half don't. I like the fact that I'm turning bits of rubbish writing into reasonably good writing. That part of editing I quite like, because then you're quite satisfied at the end of it, thinking, well yeah, perhaps I can write after all. But then there's the really annoying and frustrating part of editing where in my book of notes, and I think I want to add this bit, this passage here somewhere, and then you just spend ages flicking through the pages finding the right place to add it. Or yeah, you think, oh well, I need a description of this person, I haven't done a description of them yet, and then you just spend ages trying to find the right place to put that description in, that sort of thing. So that was yeah, so that, it just feels really time consuming, and it's still nice to feel like that is moving forward again. This book I'm writing, it sort of goes in fits and starts. Sometimes I make really good progress, particularly when we've gone to America in the past, when I've gone with Chris for his work and I've sort of tagged along, and then I get all day on my own without any interruptions from Chris or the kids and I can just get on with it, and I always make really good progress on those trips. But of course, since lockdown, just having a really busy summer, I haven't done very much, not as much as I wanted to recently, so I need to get back into that a bit more. So we had Jude's birthday at the weekend. That was really nice. Luckily the weather changed again, back from raining all of the week, and then at the weekend we got a couple of nice days. So we went to Bristol on the Saturday at her request altogether, but I took my camera with me, but I completely forgot to film anything. I think we were in a bit of a rush. It took us an hour and a half to get there because the traffic was just so bad. So we were running a bit late for our lunch/dinner reservation, our lunchtime dinner reservation. And yeah, everything felt a little bit rushed after that, but that turned out really nicely. And then on Sunday we just had a bit of a family walk. Rain had to work on Sunday, but when she came back in the evening we had a takeaway and we watched, what was it called? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. That's the one. It was a really good film. I made chocolate cake. It was a good one this time. Sometimes I leave it in the oven a bit too long, but this one was just right. so it's good.
Happy birthday, dear Jude. Happy birthday to you.
Back, Merlin. I also managed to get out in the garden and tied up the roses on my willow obelisk. This is actually from my scrapbooking stash, so I'm going to use these for tying in the roses. My obelisk is looking a little wonky, so yeah, never did tie it down. I've got to do that now before the wind and the autumn weather picks up. That was a good sideways look, Merlin. Right, trying again. Realised my best linen dress. Don't you agree, Merlin? It's probably not the best item of clothing to be wearing while tackling roses. So, changed, try again. Gloves are no good. I can't tie the little knot, so I'm just going to have to get scratches. I thought there was going to be just like a few strands of roses. I had not realised how much was growing here. It's got this ginormous clump there, quite a big clump here as well. Just sort of, I'm just going to have to sort of bend it towards the obelisk and hope that it will grow in that direction from now on. Okay, it's not finished, but I'm going to call it a day. So it was nice to get some of that job done. I need to go back out and finish it. But yeah, it really is time to get the garden ready for autumn. I just can't believe it. I'm just not ready. Summer has just been so busy and it doesn't feel like we've properly had a summer this year. It's when I want to relax. I just want to sit in the garden and relax, but it ends up being so busy. As soon as we've got back from one trip in the camper van or doing something, before I've recovered from that, it's time to plan and get ready for the next one, and it's just been like that constantly, and it's not over yet. We're off again next week. It is nice. I'm very lucky to be able to do it. I am utterly exhausted, and the worrying thing is I don't think I'm going to get to actually have a bit of relaxing time until January now. Yeah, so that's a little bit worrying. Hopefully I'll be able to catch my breath a little before then. But yeah, next week we are off to Kent for the week. It was meant to be our big family holiday to Florida. We're going to do Disney World and all that, which was planned for, well, when was it? May 2020 it was originally planned for, then moved to October, then moved to May, then moved to October, and now cancelled altogether. So anyway, the kids had booked the time off work already. It took us ages to decide what to do, but in the end we settled on doing London as a tourist. So we're staying at my parents' house for the week and then take the train in to the city every day and go and see all the proper tourist sites of London. So that's quite exciting. I'm looking forward to doing that. So it's a bit of a short one this week, I'm afraid. Luckily there's been a couple of really long ones, so if you never managed to finish those, hopefully there's still a bit of content there for you to go back and watch. But before I go, I do want to show you the present that Chris gave me for our wedding anniversary, and it's so nice. I'm going to bring the camera close up for that. So I did of course unbox this already when Chris gave me my present. I wasn't so rude as to say no, I've got to film it first when we get home. So this is the Visconti Van Gogh pen, fountain pen. Yeah, even though I have obviously taken it out already, I thought you might be interested to see what it looks like when you order it, or at least this is what it did for me. So you take off the cardboard sleeve, and because it's the Van Gogh range, by the way, Van Gogh I think is the usual pronunciation in America, but in England we tend to say Van Gogh. I've got a feeling neither are quite right in pronunciation, but never mind. It's a really, really lovely box, really nice sort of linen texture. And then you open that up, and this is what you get inside. A Visconti leaflet. So that tells you a bit about the company. They're manufactured in Florence in Italy. So yeah, I'll have I'm getting distracted having a look at these. There's some really nice looking pens here. Okay, I'll have a proper look at that later. And then this is what I get inside. A bookmark with the picture that the pen itself was inspired by. So I got Wheatfield Under Thunderclouds, which was a very good choice by Chris, because I do love blues and teals, and I love the way, I mean, this is a resin case. By the looks of the way this is manufactured, I doubt any two are the same or will get quite the same effects of the colours, and I've been really lucky. I've got a lovely one. I'm so happy with this. It's there, and then here's the pen itself. I think I'll zoom you in, you're a bit far away. The clip is apparently based on the shape of the Ponte Vecchio bridge in Florence, which is quite cool. It's a really nice feel of the clip. It's nice and sturdy. I was worried it was going to feel like it was going to break off, but it doesn't. It's nice. Oh, none of that's been in focus, I'm sorry. Ah, we finally have focus. Right, so I'm going to have to keep it really close up to the camera. A really pretty pen. I really love looking at it. So this pen is much heavier than I'm used to. My other two fountain pens that I've been using recently are much lighter. So I think I'm actually going to use this as my everyday pen for things like writing my lists, just writing notes here and there. I don't think I'll be using it to sit down and write for long periods of time. But that's okay, because this is also probably my prettiest pen. So I will, on a daily basis, see this more often than my others, which is kind of nice really. I really love the magnetic closure of the lid there. I much prefer that to the screw lid type. Yeah, as it's already quite heavy, like I mentioned, I would try to avoid writing with the lid posted, but you could. Yeah, it's not too bad. And I'll show you my list, my today's list that I've been writing, to give you an example of the handwriting. There we are. That's what the fine nib is like. As you can see, yesterday's list is a little bit darker. It is actually already time to refill the ink. But yeah, liking it a lot. I'm really happy. By the way, this is the ink I'm using. This was also part of the present. I really wanted a dark blue, and this is perfect, just what I wanted really. I felt that Prussian blue was too pale and bright, particularly when trying to write on lined paper with blue lines. Oh, do you know what? I haven't got myself a tissue ready. Just a sec. I just heard good reviews about this type of ink. I know it's a little bit pricey, but it's all comparable. I've seen much more expensive ink than this, but I have to say I've loved what I've used so far, so I'm sticking with it. So that's all from me this time. I hope you have a lovely week. Take care everyone. Bye.